Our thoughts are magnetic. The human being is a very powerful creature, molded and built into a perfect gem by its creator, much more with an endowment of the gift of the thought to attract from the universe whatever he wishes to attract because it's a very powerful magnet. Humans are magnets and the thoughts are magnetic. What you think is attracted back to you like a magnet. The formidable force of resistance, which is the law of attraction and love, enables man to magnetize the wonders of the universe has to offer by his thoughts. Our thoughts follow the law of attraction, and what we keep thinking attracts the equivalent of the thought to our reality. If you think of living a wealthy life filled with opulence and riches, the universe grants you your most heartfelt desires of wealth. If you think of building heavy mansions and houses, going on vacation abroad, viewing the cinema, touring the continents, owning a private jet and fleet of exotic cars, then the universe grants you your heart desires. As far as you can think, what you think you become. But if you are carried away by the quagmire of what the economy dictates, the global economic mental, instability in the economy, high rate of unemployment, global pandemic disease, it becomes your reality. It is the law of attraction. Our thoughts are magnetized back to us as our reality. The force of hypnosis. The economic forces is a quagmire of regression to the human soul. Much more the high rate of inflation, global recession, global pandemic disease, high rate of job and unemployment consummate an hypnotic consciousness on human feelings. The force of hypnosis is as strong as it conditions the human consciousness according to what the visible plane of unrealistic living portrays to the human senses. When you look at the immediate environment, the nagging economic dismay, the non-satisfactory state of the economy, you are being forced to see that as the whole life has to offer, not knowing life is what you embrace by your choice. Life has fantastic benefit to offer us, but the present economic predicament consummates a different version of life, of what life is giving to us. But as admonished in the scriptures, we walk by faith and not by sight. God has granted us as good things in store for us when He promised us a glorious and expected ending. With this admonition by God, being the supreme maker that wants the best for His creation, we should begin to see the promises God has for us and believe by faith. The force of hypnosis is so strong that it conditions the human soul to live according to its influence. Wealth is built from conscious and positive thought of wealth and meets the unpalatable quagmire the economic portray to us. You would have to cultivate a healthy and positive one at that to live a worldly life, because a healthy and positive thought equals a worldly reality. The law of attraction is inevitably a considerable factor that grants us what the universe has to offer. If you project positive thoughts, your thought of acquiring a good car, building heavy mansions, going on vacation, touring the whole continent, then it is inevitably yours according to your thought. It is the law of attraction, and the universe grants to you a version of your thought. David never allowed hypnosis. A typical illustration of how the force of hypnosis often affects the human consciousness is cited in the book of Kings, when the huge and beastly creature called Goliath of Gath was intimidating the armies of Israel. He was huge and giant, with an intimidating figure that caused a man to faint at the mere appearance of him. Goliath boasted, and his huge armor made Israel lost faith at sight of him. The intimidating figure of Goliath consummated a hypnotic influence on the Israelites. They allowed themselves to be overruled by the force of hypnosis. But David was an exception with an exceptional capability. He had faith and he had a positive mentality of victory. He knew quite well that Goliath was big and intimidating, but he never allowed that to overrule his consciousness. Rather, he was positive that he would cut off the head of Goliath and win the victory, and eventually David won and defeated Goliath. Likewise, the economic situation, such as the global recession, unemployment, high rate of inflation, consummate an obstacle to seeing the bliss and abundance life has to offer. But being a man of faith, you should be able to see beyond that economic dismay and believe in your mind you are meant to prosper and live a worldly filled life.